all around us, there is love. Good morning. I'm so grateful to be with you this morning. Welcome to Foothills. Everyone here in the sanctuary, everyone joining us online, home in their PJs. We're only slightly jealous of you. I'm Reverend Gretchen. My pronouns are she, her. I'm one of the ministers that serve this congregation. I am so grateful to be leading the service today with our guest musician, Fern. Yay! I think it's, other than Christmas Eve, this is your first Sunday here. Played in June. All right, I was on sabbatical, so I missed that one. I'm so glad you're here. Also, Shinchuan, both she, her, leading us in music, and Bugs is going to be joining us later, they, them, leading our multi-gen time, and we are especially grateful this morning to welcome my friend and colleague, the Reverend Roger Butts, he, him. Roger is our affiliated community minister and a local hospice chaplain, and we're always grateful to be here with him. We are so glad to be here with all of you as we hold space together and remind ourselves that every single person is worthy of love and belonging without exception, and that we are all in this life together. We want to offer a special welcome to anyone who is new or feeling new. We know it's that time of year where people are like trying out new things, like, oh, it's a new start, we're right on the verge of the new year. So if that's you, welcome. We know it can take that extra trust and courage to try out a new congregation. We want to do everything we can to help you feel at home and at ease right from the beginning. You can join us after the service in the entrance hall. There's a round table or a table that has folks that are ready to greet you. They're often wearing blue aprons, so look for the blue aprons. They would love to connect with you, begin to answer any of your questions, and help you get connected. So today we are continuing our holiday series. We're in that time of year where I feel like it's confusing what day it is. As I was driving up, I was like, was I just here? How many days ago was Christmas Eve? And also, there was a Sunday just a few days before that. So if you're in that space, that's kind of that time of year where we're talking about this idea of being in the turning. So we're just actively in the turning together, where we're practicing the ways that we can stay in partnership with one another, especially in disorienting and difficult times. So this morning, as we greet each other in this pause, this orienting time between Christmas and New Year, we're focusing on listening more deeply to ourselves and to one another, and to that still small voice within. Next Sunday, we're going to finish our series with our annual fire ceremony service. We thought a lot about the promo image for this service, fire ceremony, because Lauren kept sending me images of big, gigantic fires, and I was like, that's going to scare everyone away. There is fire at the fire ceremony, but it's very manageable fire. It's actually, so this is I think it's my favorite ritual that we do here, where we actively write down something that we need to let go of, and then we let it go in the fire, and it's a magic ritual. I mean, literally, we use magic tools to make it go away. And so you get to experience what it feels like to have something that you need to let go of and have it go. So it may be that maybe you have something you need to release this year. Anyone feeling like you might need to set something down? So I encourage you to check out this service and bring your friends. It's an all-ages service, so bring your family, bring anyone that would just needs that experience of letting something all the way go. It will be broadcast online, but this is one of those services I really encourage you to join us in person if you're able. So for today's service, let's rise in body or in spirit as we sing together our opening song, There's a River Flowing in My Soul.
Good morning. Look, the Christmas lights have dimmed. Listen, no more carols in the village green. The angel is taken down from the top of the tree. Rudolph is back at the North Pole. The Charlie Brown kids are no longer dancing willy-nilly to West Coast jazz on the television. No more shopping for the moment. No more holiday specials. The Hallmark Channel is back to just regular old love stories, not ones wrapped up in holiday magic. A quiet descent. A champagne toast for the end of the year, the beginning of the new. Janus, with his face turned back and peering forward, is the god now. The drag queen and the drag king magi and the regular old pagan magi have found their Jesus, that baby, precious and fierce. So now what? So now what? We are invited, as always, to take a breath, to listen for that deep wisdom at the heart of all creation, including at the heart of you and yours. We are invited to find our way from activity to stillness. And what better place to do it than right here, right now, in this space, at this time. We welcome you. Holy, holy you. Fatigued, concerned, worried, joyous, exuberant, whoever you are, wherever you're headed, your whole self is invited to hear a saving word of grace that is embedded deep in your soul and deep in our collective yearning. Grace, reconciliation, compassion, love, it's all there, waiting to be heard. We light our chalice, dancing flame, flickering hope, to remind ourselves that the light inside us and among us can never go out. I invite you to join me now in the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Hi, my name is Bugs, and I use they, them pronouns. How are we all feeling today? Good? All right. I know a lot of times these days it feels like Christmas, this in-between moment, Christmas is over, it's almost New Year's, it's a little disorienting. And sometimes we lose track of time, right? But it can be good, and sometimes it helps to feel a little more in our body. So today we're going to practice a little bit of mindfulness together and paying attention to those feelings that we have. So please start by getting a comfortable seat, maybe sitting upright, having both your feet on the floor, and close your eyes, and make sure to close your mouth too. I know it's silly. So let's take a few deep breaths in together. Just take a settle to do in and out. In and out. Now, with your lips closed, you can start humming. Just a little bit. You can hum a high note, like or you can hum a low note, like But whatever you choose, try to keep humming as you breathe in and out. Let's do it together. hands from your chest and hold them out right in front of you. You might want to open your eyes so you can see them. So we're going to hold our hands like this. I have to put this down so I can do this. All right. Now, starting with our thumbs, you want to keep the rest of your fingers pressed together and then tap your thumbs 5 times. Tap, 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 tap. And keep going with the rest of your fingers until you've done all of them. Notice the way that it feels. Maybe it's a little harder to do different fingers. For me, my ring finger is a little difficult. Notice the way it feels to keep them pressed together while you're trying to tap the rest of your fingers. That's good. Once you've tapped all your fingers, give your hands a little shake. Shake out that weird feeling. Now, let's look around behind us. What do you see back there? Maybe the windows, maybe the wall. You can look up and see the fan, the bright lights, the wooded ceiling. You can look down and see the floor, all the carpet patterns, maybe your shoes, maybe your pants. You can look left, and maybe that's different for you guys than it is for me. You can look right. Notice all the things around you that maybe you forget to see when you're here so often. All right. Thank you, guys. Let's do one last breathing moment together, just to center our practice. Close your eyes again and breathe in. And breathe out. You feel the way your chest or your tummy might expand when you breathe. You feel a little tense, maybe in your back or your shoulders. Let's try and breathe into that part of ourselves and let it go as we breathe it out. Together, in and out. Thank you all so much for doing this practice with me. These are practices you can use any time in the next few days or the year ahead. They're a great way to center yourself in the moment when you might just need to take a little pause. And it's good for kids and parents and everyone of all ages. All right, we all know what the next moment is. Kids, youth, or mostly little kids. If you're ready to go to class, come join me up at the front here. You can gather right here. I forgot to have my staff meet, so we're all going to go together. All right, we're going to do it. Everyone else, while they're moving, I just want to let you know about our kids groups this weekend. We're doing a little mindfulness practice. We're doing a moment where we're talking about being present and feeling hope together. And just so you know, we're not doing a middle hour this weekend, so make sure that you're picking up your kids from their classrooms. All right, you guys ready? I guess let's just start started. Everyone please rise and turn towards the aisle this way. Let's do this middle aisle. We'll all do it together. Just mime it if you're on the side. And let's sing together as we sing our kids to our classes.
Shine through Allah, Buddha, Jesus, Mother Mary, Brother Sun, Sister Moon, God, Yahweh, love, Sister Dorothy Day, Brother Martin, Father Lewis. Whatever your name, whoever you call, whoever you use me, call me, here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? My heart is broken. The way is unclear. The path is long. My spirit is humbled. My son is hurting. My neighbor is crying. The woman under the bridge, she needs a meal. My spouse needs to be heard. Who am I? Who am I? What can I offer? Justice. Justice. My broken heart that still beats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My old ears that still hear. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My feet that have journeyed long, but still can carry me from here to there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So carry me, God, however you do that, from here to there, and I'll follow. And I'll walk, and I'll listen, and I'll stay awake. Though the night is dark, your light will guide me. world is full of poetry, Mary Oliver says. You just have to be quiet to hear it. Amy Dillard says, the silence is all there is. It is the Alpha and the Omega. There's a great passage in the early stories of the Hebrew Bible. The prophet Elijah, living in uncertain and confusing and disorienting times, is all done. He's done. He wants to go out and either escape or get lost or die in the wilderness. But the God of his story has different ideas for Elijah. So Elijah goes out to die, but the story says the word of the Lord came upon him. Okay. In the story, it goes like this. First, the word of the Lord makes sure that he is rested. He's had his nap, he's had his sleep, and realizing that Elijah has not yet eaten provides some food. So, I'm a hospice chaplain, as you know. Some folks are here who have experienced my chaplaincy. And I was, for a little while, a minister at the UU congregation of the Outer Banks. And we have somebody from there, too. So that's really good. And her accent will just give it away. So, rest and food. Very important. The Bible, in this regard, is at least very practical. Are you sure you don't need to just get some sleep? Are you sure you don't need just a bite to eat? But the angel, or the word, knows that Elijah has something deeper to attend. So what happens? The angel says, what exactly, Elijah, are you doing? And what exactly are you doing here? Elijah says, look around me. People have forgotten. People have forgotten common courtesy, common kindness. They've forgotten that we're made for love and mutuality. It's turned into a dog-eat-dog world. But I know there is more to the story, but I tell you, they want to kill me before they want to hear me. And I know we are called to a great vision, a great covenant. In order to gain power, they blame these people, and then they blame those people, and then they blame foreigners, and then they blame and blame and blame, and power and power and power, so I'm done. I'm taking my ball and I'm leaving the playground. Okay, the angel says, let's rewind. Go to the mount. Go to the mount, and you'll hear directly what you need to know. Behold, it says, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains, and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. You know, if they're break in pieces, like that's serious business. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, light. Anybody else? A still, small voice. And that's where God spoke. Never, not once, in 25 years of ministry, have I experienced a wind or a fire, let alone an earthquake, when trying to hear the wisdom at the heart of my own heart. Once, while driving from D.C. on Thanksgiving, out to my oldest friend's house in the suburbs, a perfectly blue day, going to see my oldest friends in the world, the Indigo Girls were on the CD player in my car, and I felt so much grace. I pointed to Gretchen, no. And I felt so much grace and so much love that I knew then and there that I'd have something called faith, even if I could never fully explain it. Even if I could never put words to it. I felt a voice so still, so small, so loving, and it wasn't Amy Ray or Emily Salyer's voices. I felt something deep and abiding. What some call a love that will not let us go. Love that will not let us go. but not once an earthquake. And if I'm being honest, there have been plenty of times that I've been silent but numbed out. Silent but absent. So what is it? If the silence is all there is, if the world is full of poetry but you have to be quiet to hear it, what is it that is helpful about this idea of silence? If we want to hear the ancient wisdom, that still small voice that we insist is available to all people in all times, in all cultures, regardless. There is a hint in the Elijah story. There is a hint. The angel says, go to the mount. Go and get away from your regular, everyday distractions. Go and be intentional. Now that you're rested, now that you're fed, go to the mount. There's some intentionality there. There's some purposefulness there. There's some posture of receptivity there. Make yourself available, and the ancient wisdom might just show up for you. I had a colleague, congregationalist colleague, in Davenport, whose prayer life happened while she swam in the morning. Marta, my beloved, walks our 2 black labs, and on the walk, there is her prayer time. I sit in what's known as centering prayer. In all of those practices, there is an intent, a purpose, an opening. I'm here, ancient wisdom, love that will not let me go. I am here, and I'm studying my pie hole so that I can listen. The world is full of poetry, but you got to be quiet in order to hear it. Parker Palmer says, if you want to encounter your soul and the wisdom therein, you have to treat it like a wild animal. Sit quietly against the tree, and maybe it will appear. Shout for it to come out and play, and it isn't likely to appear. The invitation in all of this is to go from silence to stillness. The ancient mystics of every religious tradition, if they have a mystical tradition part of it, they say something like this: go deeper. Past your thoughts into silence. Past silence into stillness. Past stillness into the heart. And once you've arrived there, let love consume all that is left of you. From thoughts to silence. Silence to stillness. Stillness to your heart. And there, let love consume all that is left of you. I do centering prayer. Martha says I do centering prayer because I have to do centering prayer. Because I get a little excited. But when I sit in silence for 20 minutes, 1,000 thoughts come my way. I have a sacred word. It's generally peace. P-E-A-C-E. So that when I start writing my grocery list or thinking about what I need to do next, I have this agreement with the sacred that I will return to that word like a down feather on a pillow. To remind myself that I've entered into purposeful moments in which I can quiet my thoughts so that the holy can enter into the silence and do whatever the holy is going to do, which normally I have no clue about. Silence into stillness. Stillness gets us to that place where, like Elijah, we can hear that small, still voice. There's an old story from the desert mothers and fathers who went off to seclusion to get away from the world. Turns out that the world followed them. And one day Abbot Moses goes to Abbot Isidore says, I'm full of thoughts, full of temptations, can't help myself. And Abbot Isidore says, it's natural. Go to your cell and you'll learn everything you need to learn. Go to your cell and you'll learn everything you need to learn. I can't do it. Can't do it, Moses said. I can't do it. It's beyond that. So Isidore takes Moses to the window of that old monastic place. He says, look to the west. And Moses looked. And all these little demons were gathered there, waiting to pounce. Oh, said Moses, goodness. And Isidore said, look to the east. And all these angels were gathered, ready to protect. Oh, said Moses, goodness. Isidore said, there are more angels than thoughts. There are more angels than temptation. There are more angels than demons. And they're sent here to protect you. Now, Moses said, now I can return to my cell and listen in stillness. You see, if Moses was tempted to do something in the face of his temptation, the face of that image that he had, he'd probably picked the wrong thing to do. Don't just do something, sit there, the Buddhists say. But sitting still, letting the silent do its work, finding a place of stillness, that's the move. That's the move. The faith within us reaches out and translates each thing. For the essence of the tree to be real custodian. Cast your inner essence around it, and then you'll be able to see what is the tree and what is not. I'm a hospice chaplain. I get paid to listen to people. And I have learned, whether hospital chaplaincy, hospice chaplaincy, parish ministry, over 25 years, I've learned that the person in front of me is full of wisdom and can teach me if I can just keep my mouth shut and listen. And the silence within me has plenty to tell me if I can just go to my cell and listen. If I can just go to my cell and listen. The world is full of poetry, but you gotta be quiet to hear it. Your insides are full of wisdom. Every mystic and every tradition in the history of the world says it. But you gotta be quiet to hear it. Why did your how is alone in some holy grace? And if you really come, go alone. If I listen to you, oh, Peter, Offering? Wait, hold on. Gretchen made me some words for the offering. Hold on. It's offering time. I'm going to find them. One of the purposes, so, Gretchen, when she told me that I'm supposed to talk about listening, she was like, but also tell them, we listen to ourselves, but how do we know if it's the ego or if it's the wisdom of the ancients, And I was like, that's why we go to church. That's why you gotta check that stuff out, right? Small groups. That's neither here nor there. One of the purposes of the church is to help us practice being more for more than ourselves. That is, to help us find ways where we can feel the ways that so much of our lives is a gift, and to respond by sharing that gift with others for a greater good. This is the reason we take up an offering at this point in our service, to practice sharing what we have with gratitude and generosity. It's also why every offering at Foothills is shared equally with a community partner who shares our values. Just as we as individuals are part of a greater story, so is our church as a whole. All month we have been sharing our offering with partners at Homeward Alliance, and today we have one final opportunity to say thank you to them for the many gifts they bring to our community through our generous giving. We are so grateful to have a partner in Homeward Alliance who so deeply shares our values. As one example, one of their lead staff members, Pam Brewer, who was here last Sunday, shared with us that in the last few years they made intentional changes in their hiring practice to ensure their staff team better reflects the community they serve. This means that currently 56% of their staff have experienced poverty, 10% have experienced homelessness, 14% have experienced incarceration, 43% live with mental health conditions, and 14% have substance use disorders. Additionally, 38% identify as bi or multicultural, 26% are bilingual, and 27% identify as LGBTQ+. As they look ahead to the future, their next major project in 2026 is the renovation of the Murphy Center Food Pantry that now serves about 30,000 meals per year. They are fundraising to renovate it to be a light prep kitchen so they can serve healthier food rather than prepackaged items. Everything you place in the basket or donate by going to the QR code on the screen or giving in your church center app will be shared equally with Homeward Alliance and this and all their efforts in our community and support our mission to unleash courageous love. What? In our lives and all across northern Colorado. We will now gratefully receive your generous offering.
We come to the time in our service that we set aside each week to turn our attention to gratefulness. I have a few things I need to just offer as we begin. Need to start by acknowledging I forgot to recognize Anne-Marie Ford at the beginning of the service and introduce her. She's who offered our sound sound experiences today. So we're so grateful for that. It was an idea as we were thinking about this service on listening is to really invoke other kinds of sounds we don't often get to hear in our. I had no idea about the gong, though. So thank you so much, Emery. It was beautiful. Emery does that professionally, and I know that those are magical experiences to just be able to absorb and sit in those sounds. So thank you for sharing that with us. And then I didn't say at the top because I didn't want the whole thing to have a little cloud of sadness, but it is Roger's last service with us today. So Roger if you said it, talked about his wife, Martha. She's also a pastor and had received a call to serve a church in Florida. So although we questioned their judgment overall about that, they have decided to go to Florida in a couple months. So Roger, I wonder if you'd just come forward for just a moment. You can tell, if you've never been in a service with Roger or met him before, you can tell even just from today, he's a very special person, and he has a lot of depth of wisdom, but also a lot of humility and a great sense of humor. And he is a cherished colleague that we are truly going to miss. And he's been a gift for us. I support that you should stay married and follow Martha, but
thank you.
But we're going to miss you so much, and we are so grateful for the ways you've served us here and met our community in our hospice as well. So thank you. I wonder if you'll all just recognize our voice. Thank you. Oh, he's leaving.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's one of the reasons that somebody on the way in was like, why are you here today? I said, well, Miss Rogers' last service. I really wanted to be here to be able to express that and to be with all of you on this send-off for him. So now I invite you, wherever else in your life is bringing you those places of connection, joy, small or big, to just turn your attention there for a moment and offer those gifts a moment of gratitude. This might be a person, might be a moment, might be simply the ability to breathe in and out in this moment together, to start again with a light, with a little taste of cold we got today. Whatever it is, just keep saying thank you. And when you're ready, I'm going to invite you to rise in body or in spirit, and we're going to sing together. I know this is a favorite for many of us and fitting for the turning of the new year, so please rise.
Below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my silent heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue home. Sun my sailor, moon my rudder, as I fly the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep. Drifting here with my ship companion, as the waves are calling me, hail to the great winds surging me on. See the infinite sea before me, sing the sun my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathom, never harbor or port have I known. My universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue home. For the entirety of my ministry, I've been saying the same benediction at the end of my services. And this is my love letter to you, my final blessing for you. I've been so proud to be your community minister, one of them. If it's God that you seek, may God walk with you. If it's life you embrace, may life return your affection. And if it's the right path that you seek, may the way be found and the courage to take it, step by step. Go in peace, friends. Go in love. Until next time.